As a highly sensitive person, you may find yourself not fitting in with common advice, even common ways of doing and common ways of being. And specifically for highly sensitive souls, highly sensitive individuals, people, it's easy to find yourself feeling a lot of things all at once that sometimes from time to time it's often hard for you to feel happy or be at peace. And I'm saying this because I have been through all these things as a highly sensitive person myself. I found myself feeling like, oh, I just feel too much. I just feel things so easily and feeling overwhelmed by my own emotions and often feeling like misunderstood by people for what I am feeling, and in a way feeling kind of unsatisfied in life. And I see that this to be common among highly sensitive souls, and I wanted to share with you on today's video about why this happens. About I want to share with you what gifts it is that you have as highly sensitive people. We're actually very blessed in some ways, but if we do not understand this, then they can work against ourselves, leading us towards a sense of dis-ease, unease, a sense of dissatisfaction in our lives. And here today, I want to share with you how you can go about it and how you can actually experience peace, lasting inner peace and fulfillment as a highly sensitive person. And hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chanye, a spiritual guide and fulfillment coach for highly sensitive women who are also high achievers. And today we want to talk about highly sensitive soul. If you are one, I want to share with you what makes you so special and what are the specific ways that will bring you inner, like what works for general population but doesn't, and what will work for you instead. So if you are a highly sensitive soul, some of the ways on how you can recognize yourself as being one is that one of the ways is that you may often feel like you don't fit in, not fitting in with others, or whether it is like normal, ordinary advice, you may find like they are too harsh for you. They're so intense for you, like whether that is personal development advice or tools, or whether you may feel like for other people, if they say like, oh, I'm working to becoming a better person, you may feel like if you are a highly sensitive soul, you're prone to more like judging yourself or feeling like you're just not doing good enough, like not as good as who you think you should be. So it can feel like there is some element of like, it's often easy to take in feelings of like inadequacy. We may feel that and we may take that all inside of us, like take it all in, take things personally, right? Those are some things that as highly sensitive people that we can be kind of prone to. And it's also easy for us to feel overwhelmed from time to time. Like for a lot of people, they may like get things done, be productive, do a lot of things, and it seems like they can just go their life that way. But for you, you will feel like sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you just need that little quiet time for yourself. Or sometimes you just, feel like there's a sense of like something is missing, right? A sense of feeling like there is a gap and you just don't know what it is. And of course, with that, it's also because of this overwhelm, it's also easy for us to hide. Feel like we just want to hide from the world, and sometimes retreat back into our own little cave. And sometimes, however, though, we do want to be seen. We do want to feel understood by other people. But even though we may often feel misunderstood, because other people may say things like, oh, you are, too soft, you are too much. Too much is something that we can hear. You are too emotional, you're too much of this and that, like, right, you're like a little pansy, you're just, don't be a little pansy, right, little flower. These are things that people may say because we just don't fit in with, whether that is like normal personal development advice or like even self-care and other aspects of like taking care of ourselves. So what I've learned is that the reason why this happens is because the first reason that I have learned is because as sensitive souls, you have such a big heart. You have like an overactive heart chakra, right? Your heart arc chakra is just like flowing with love energy. And this love energy wants to be given and fully be received. And so you have this all this excess heart chakra, but oftentimes what happens is that a lot of people will not get it, right? So for instance, let's say you hear someone else's words and to you it's not just a matter of like what they say, but also how it sounds, how the word sounds, and how the tone of the word is, the intention behind the word, the meaning of how something actually means, right? So for you, feelings are super important. Like how things evoke feeling, if it is involving like kindness or not, it actually matters. And but for other people, it may be oblivious. Like they may be oblivious to them. They may be like, oh, I just say it because it just came out of my mouth. But for you, it's like, no, it's also about how a word makes you feel, right? Does it make you feel like some kind of harsh or like some form of like it's too harsh for you? So you may often find yourself feeling like other people, they may say like harsh things to you, even though they don't intend it to be, or you may find that they are just like too abrupt in their language or in their tone. So, meaning all of these reasons, right? Whether you can sense whether other people are coming from a state of like arrogance or like demeanor, right? Whether they are mean, right? We are sensitive to all these energies. Like we know what the other person is actually like feeling deep down behind the blanket of words that they may be hiding. So as sensitive soul, this is one of the superpowers of you, is that you're able to detect how much love there is in a word or in an action, whether it's from another person or whether it's like directed to someone else. But however, the drawback that happens in this thing is that we often feel like we are wrong for feeling these ways, right? We are wrong for feeling like the abruptness, the harshness of the world. So let's say one of the things I encountered, for example, was in like my marketing. So in the past, I have been taught strategies, things like, oh, you need to say, in a way that to other people, they may just say it because that works, like that marketing phrase or a tactic works. But for me, as a sensitive soul, it's not just about whether it works or not. To you, as a sensitive soul, it is also about how it makes you feel as someone who's writing and as someone who is like receiving as an audience on the other end. So for you, you are so considerate of other people, like such as, for example, in sales or marketing. You don't want to do like so salesy or like types of marketing that make you feel like someone else is on a high pedestal, like on a high horse, and they're talking down to other people. Like that's something that I've encountered too. And for sensitive soul, for you, it's not just about getting things done, right? It's not just about productivity, but for you, it's more about how you feel. So this is really an important thing, how you feel during the process of doing it, how you feel as a result of doing it. To you, feelings are so important for you. But for a lot of people, they may ignore that. Whether it is like in your business or in your business advice, they may just say like, oh, do this, do this, do this. But for you, it's like, oh, how does it make you feel? Like for you to say it, for you to do it, right? How does it make you feel on a daily basis? Like all of these things matter for you. But a lot of people, you may feel like you don't fit in because a lot of people cannot actually sense feeling that intensely. They don't desire good feelings. They may not desire that deeply as much as you. But for you, it matters a lot, especially this gentleness, right? This kindness, this softness is super important to you. So this is not one of the number one reasons why sensitive souls can find it hard to find inner, is because your heart is looking for softness, but the world is saying that you need to be harsh to yourself. So this can, for example, apply in terms of a personal development journey. If the world is saying like, oh, you need to be at this age by 30 years old, you need to we have accomplished this, right? To other people, it may excite them, but to you as a sensitive soul, you're wanting a way of living that is like more kind to you, more kind to yourself, more kind to other people. And which is why a lot of like personal development things can feel really harsh for you. It can feel like you're just like need to you're fixing yourself. Like it feels like you are somehow inadequate, somehow you're not meeting someone else's standards. And so the first thing that is super important for you to listen to is, unlike the popular advice, the in the self-care or self-development world, a lot of people only think about what to do, right? It's always about what's in the head, what you should do. But for you, what's super important is to prioritize your heart over your head. So always be listening to what your heart is feeling, right? Even when you wake up day to day life, can you pause and reflect and tune back in? How does that make my heart feel? How does that make like does if you feel the heart like beating so harsh, beating so much, and you know that something is wrong, you know that you're going against your gut feelings, you know that you're doing against your own heart, so you're working against yourself. So as a sensitive soul, it's super important for you to listen. So that is why listening to your heart, practices of listening to your heart is super important if you want to find inner peace. So it's not even a matter of like doing one specific thing in order to find peace, but to be able to pause and listen and connect back to your heart. And knowing that your heart is always guiding you with the answer, she is always with you. And so, can you be soft to her? Can you be kind to her, right? Can you be kind to yourself? So, that's first thing. So that is, we want to double down on your strengths. If you want to find peace, you want to double down your strengths on your strengths, which is your heart. That is number one. And number two is your throat chakra. Your throat chakra is also, it's also easy to find your throat chakra blocked as a sensitive soul. And this is because, again, it's connected to the heart. Your heart is super sensitive, and therefore it may feel like for you, before you say anything, before you express yourself, you have to overthink a lot on what to say, whether it's the right word that you are saying or not, how it's going to impact other people, right? We talked about it a little bit earlier. And because of it, it's often easy to find yourself feeling like you want to say something, but somehow a part of you is holding back. For some reason, you just can't find yourself, like, even though you want to be vulnerable, or even though you wanted to say this one word to your friend or to your significant other that person exact time, like you somehow couldn't say it. And because of it, you may experience some rumination to things like, oh, I should have said that, right? I should have done this at this time. So it's often easy to find yourself like feeling blocked as well. So like for instance, in business, it can also look like having so many ideas on what to write, what to create. You want to express yourself, but for some reason, a part of yourself may be finding like, oh, what would people think? Wondering how that would come across to other people. Or it can even happen like unconsciously, as in like somehow you just can't find yourself writing it, actually typing it out, or actually filming the camera and recording it. And that was also something that I experienced for a long time as a sensitive soul. When it comes to business, when it comes to even like work or career related. And so, in order to work around it, it's so important to find yourself clearing that throat chakra as a result of it. So one way of how we do that is by connecting to our sense of inner safety. We want to find out. We want to almost like pinpoint out the exact thing that is causing us hold back, making us hesitate, right? We want to find out that exact word or that exact tonality, right? That exact, like, what is the meaning? What is the essence that you're afraid of holding back? And we want to feel safe expressing that. So instead of being caught up in your head thinking like, oh, I should have said this, or why am I not saying enough, doing enough, right? Instead of overthinking the head, again, this is something that's common for a sensitive soul, is that we tend to be so much in the head. Instead of it, we want to find out what is creating the unsafety inside of your body, and we want to rewire that sense of like feeling unsafe to say or express a certain thing, and we want to know that it is safe in order to feel that, experience that in your body and in your throat area. And finally, the third reason that I feel that I have found for a sensitive soul on why it's so hard for us to find peace is because we get easily overwhelmed, and it's for good reasons, because we're like air purifiers. Okay, you can think of it like an air purifier. You're purifying air. As a sensitive soul, people may say that you're too much or you're too sensitive, you're taking things too personally. But again, this is because you're like an air purifier. You are detecting all the energies around you. So even if you go onto a crowded place, like even if it's a gym, or even if you hear some like loud music, or even if you are in like some crowded areas especially, it can feel very overwhelming to your system. And that's because you're just like an air purifier, right? You're picking up all these little noises and signals and all these dark impurities in your environment, and you are somehow cleaning them. So that's what I see as a kind of like a purpose of a sensitive soul, is that the way on how you're special is that it's not even about you doing something, it's that your presence in itself is like cleaning the space of the room, right? Cleaning the air, cleaning the energy of the room through your heart chakra, right? Through your heart. But however, what can happen is that when we are surrounded by like so much intense, whether that is drama or whether that is like intense information, like whether when we are looking at news, things like that, when there is so much going on, it bombards our system, and it kind of blocks this flow of energy that is moving through us. So as sensitive souls, that's why it's so important for you to know that your well-being is in fact the well-being of the planet. Your well-being is the same as well-being of other. In fact, you're almost like a tree, right? Trees are purifying the air. We may think that like they're not doing anything, but they're giving us oxygen for us to breathe. So similarly, as a sensitive soul, just like that, you are cleaning and purifying the energy. This is even more so if you're drawn to a career or like if you're drawn to doing work that is like related to healing other people. So this is even more true, because you're kind of like purifying the energy in the collective. And even if you're not doing anything, right? Even if you're just like meditating or sitting in your room by itself, like your soul on a higher level, on a cosmic level, you're actually purifying the energy of the collective. So as a sensitive soul, it's super important to know, like that's why some people say like, oh, as a sensitive soul, you're so selfish, if you just think about your own happiness. But in fact, we need to own that, because only when we look into ourselves, like look into feel what is, if it's something is actually bringing us happiness, if something is actually bringing us peace, only if we do that, then we can also give it to other people, right? We can also spread our kindness, spread our love, spread our feel good feelings to other people. And that, my love, is the biggest impact that you are doing in the world. Even when you are not doing anything, you're creating an impact just by your essence, by being a sensitive soul that you are. And so with that, you can ask yourself, if you want to find more peace in your life, tune back into yourself by asking like, where am I saying that like my well-being is not important? Where am I sacrificing my well-being for other people, right? Where am I saying that, oh, my well-being is not matter, I'll take care of myself when I have accomplished this task, or by this time, when I finally get to rest, right? When I finally have gotten my promotion or whatever. If we are doing that, then we are only delaying our own true nature for us from experiencing the gift of who we truly are, that we truly came here to be. And with that being said, I wanted to share with you why, as a sensitive soul, you have such unique gifts. You have unique gifts that other people do not have, which is like your heart, your throat, right? Your body is communicating all the time on how you can be more peaceful. And if you want more support on that, you can receive a free energy reading. You can visit my site at www.creativemysticfairy.com/apply. I will also link that out in the description. And that will give you more insight on what you as a specific soul is needing at this exact right time, and what is it that she actually truly wants, and how to make that happen in terms of happiness, inner peace, and fulfillment. Making your world blossom from inside out. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next